What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Hurt Business Podcast. My name is Fair Shirai, and today I got my co-host back in the building, my guy,
Yo,
the
real bad man.
real Bodman.
What's up, Gangy?
How we living today, boss?
A little sick, a little sick.
A little under the
Congest.
weather.
I put that Mucinex in there.
I feel you.
Dude, I got this Mucinex spray this morning. I put that in my throat, dude. It was like I put way too much in there and my
Ooh.
throat was numb for like 30 minutes. It was so bad. I was having a rough morning, man. I woke up sick again and woke up even more sick. Like, how does I thought when you get sick, it's supposed to like progressively get better. It
Yeah.
just got worse, bro, over the past 2 days. So, better days tomorrow. But excuse the congested throat today, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize.
Yeah, shit happens, man. Especially here in New England. Like the weather is like it's so cold one day, and then the next day it's like sunshine, and the sun is it's like 50 degrees. Like, what's going on?
It's gonna be 65 on Saturday. Like, what is this weather?
Yeah,
Like, it
I
makes no
cannot wait.
sense.
That's so fire. I'm excited for a 65-degree day. But we have just catching up from last weekend's fights up in Mexico City. And a fascinating finish to a card. I thought the entire card from start to finish was a great time. The fans were electric. So we'll get into that, and then we'll finish today's show with the upcoming fights and some picks, maybe some parlay ideas from the real Bodman himself. Uh, but before we talk about picks for this weekend, Josh, what did you think about Mexico City and the UFC's return to CDMX?
Yeah, I thought it was great. It's been a long time coming. We got to see, like as we said last week, we got to see some faces uh, that were deserving of the stage, and they showed out for that, and they made it well worthwhile. I thought this card was amazing. Um, the main card was phenomenal. I got to see some fighters that I'd never seen before that it just excelled and made it entertaining. So it was great overall. I really enjoyed it. I'd say definitely the best card of the year so far.
Ooh, whoa.
So far, we know there's going to be better ones that come, but this
I
was
mean,
definitely
290. What was the last one? 98? That was fun as fuck, dude.
it was, but this main card was just so good, man.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was so entertaining.
Yeah.
But
You said you had there was people you watched here that you haven't seen perform before and they impressed you. Who were those people?
oh man, Daniel Suleber
Oh yeah.
was incredible, man.
Oh,
He had a shaky start to that first round.
yeah.
He was trying to find that distance, trying to find the range with Prado, who was a very flat-footed, heavy, hard-hitting guy,
Mhm.
as we mentioned in the last podcast. And he was doing well. Prado was doing well. He was pushing, the taller, lengthier guy forward or backwards. Getting him on the fence, making him think, and he was doing phenomenal. And Daniel, once he got into that second round, it was clockwork for him. He was like, "All
Yeah.
right, I got the range now. I know exactly what I need to do." Those teep kicks, man. So, dude, he was knocking the wind out of him. I know those teep kicks were painful,
Yeah.
and the jab was just
Oh, there we
money.
go. There we go.
The
I was
jab was
waiting
just
for you to mention it, bro. The jab was so beautiful, and
it was
especially
good.
like I don't know what happened between the first round and the second round. Maybe it was Eric Nixick in his corner, but something happened where he was like, "I'm just gonna jab the fuck out of Francisco at distance,"
Yeah,
and that's like what he did essentially.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was just him trying to find that range. It was hard dealing with that guy because he was just coming forward a lot, and he was just
Yeah.
like, "All right, let me just keep it simple, man. The jab's working. It's keeping him at bay. Throw some kicks in there, to mix it up." And it was just an easy night for him. But that was such a good fight, man. He excelled in my expectations,
Yeah.
and I'm excited to see more of him, man. He's incredible.
Agreed, agreed. A banger of a fight. That Daniel Zellhuber is a real contender coming up in that lightweight rankings. Um, but that co-main event for me was the most exciting fight of the whole entire card, given the stakes, given the two guys liking each other, given like they kind of fought before. And my favorite part of this, given that I told you, Josh, that Ortega was gonna find a submission, and That's what he did, and let me just add to that before you give your one too. That I've come off a rough few weekends of betting in the UFC, but last weekend this UFC Mexico card, man, I redeemed myself. Shout out Mo. I've redeemed myself big time, and Brian Ortega by submission was a great lock and pick on my end that was a little fruitful, if you know what we talk about, Joshy.
How much you sprinkle on that?
Jo-
$20.
Nah, this one was a cool little fitty. This one cool little fitty. I caught him at like I caught him at a nice odds, bro. It was a pretty nice return. After
I'm
going
out.
like 0 for 6, it was
Yeah, now
needed. It was needed.
you needed something. Yeah, Brian Ortega did phenomenally, man. Little shaky in that first round. He people were a little bit worried with how he landed on that ankle and
Oh, yeah.
that pre-fight ritual. That was a little sketchy.
You texted me
Um,
as that was going, and I wasn't watching my phone. I was locked in. But like, how
yeah, I
nerve
know.
wracking must that be? Like for Brian, who kind of
Yeah,
just hasn't had the best luck in terms of like injuries and staying healthy, and like this is like the most innocent like way to get injured is in preparation of your fight, while you had a whole camp of like grueling training. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And I thought the whole time I was like, there's no way this is happening again. They're
Right.
not. He's not injured, man. He'll be fine. Just walk it off. And it seemed like he seemed like he just didn't recover from it at all in that first round. I could clearly see that it was bothering him.
Yeah.
He was trying hard to move forward and pretend like it wasn't hurting, and he matched it pretty well. But Yair's corner, they noticed. They yelled it out. They were like, "That foot's injured. Get on him." And Yair took advantage of that, man. He was beating the leg up. He was pushing the guy backwards, man. He was striking. Oh my god, it was a
He caught
phenomenal
it.
first round.
He caught
Caught
it
him too,
bad,
man.
and
It was
yeah, that
yeah,
like
his
there was a point where I'm like, and this was kind of one of my hot takes of the pod. If it was in the apex, does Brian Ortega survive that?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe,
I mean, who knows? It's I
but
thought I mean he recovered well regardless. You know what I mean?
he's in Mexico City with 20,000 people screaming. That gotta help, right? You're not in the
Yeah.
apex with like Dana White and friends watching.
Yeah, no, I know. It's a little different though, I feel like, because he's still dangerous and Yair knows that, but he doesn't respect that. And that was essentially the downfall of Yair in this fight is the fact that he just was not respecting the guy's jujitsu. And we've seen in the first fight how he was submission hunting uh, Ortega in that first fight, which was how he ended up getting himself injured. But even in this fight too, he just was not respecting the jujitsu at all. He got him knocked down. He went straight down there and put himself into harm's way. And I don't know if I'm the coach, I'm definitely not having him do that. I don't care how skilled you are. I don't, that guy is dangerous, and he showed it once again. But um, yeah, phenomenal first round for Yair. I thought he did perfect, and he did everything he needed to do. Besides, I think just putting himself in that harm's way was just a little bit too excessive. But then that second round, man, oh my god, like
Yeah.
Ortega just was just on another level. Took Yair down pretty early. Submission hunted, busted his face up with elbows. Got him bleeding, and then at that point, I was like, man, if this is how the third round is going to be, then I'm just not. I don't want to watch this anymore. And then he got taken down again in the third round, and I was
Yeah.
like, this can't be real.
Yeah.
I'm not watching this anymore. Stupid me, I watched it anyway. But
Of
Ortega
course.
was
Of course. That's not
phenomenal,
you
man.
can't
He
stop
was,
watching.
yeah, I couldn't. But Ortega was just phenomenal, man. The way he set that submission up, man, cut him up with the elbows,
Yeah.
open that choke up was perfect, man, because or he had to defend the elbows and then he went straight for the choke, and that was just so beautiful, man, the way
Yeah.
he set that up.
Yeah.
And got the win, man. Got the win. It was rough, man. It was rough to
Yeah,
watch.
T
But
City, brother. T City, man. I tried to tell you, man. I tried to tell you T City's one of them guys right there. And what I found pretty crazy is at the end of that second round and the beginning of the third round, Brian somewhat figured something out where he's like, all right, I'm gonna just get this fight to the same exact spot. And he did, and he found the same exact submission that he had at the end of the second round.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was something that he's seen, but he definitely caught it and he definitely finished the night. Once he like stepped over and he had that like complete lock with the arms clenched, it was all she
He's
wrote. Not
deceptive. He's so deceptive, man. When he does his submissions, man, it was the same way with Volk. Like he's very deceptive in the way he does his submissions. Like he will make you defend something and then immediately go to the choke. It's insane. Like the way he did it with Volk was so clever, but that was like so beautiful, man. The way he set that up was so perfect. Like there's no way. There's no way you're somebody like you're on your back. You're thinking that guy's gonna choke me out right now. He's bashing me with elbows. I have to defend this. And then once that arm was up like that, man, defending that elbow, he fucking pushed that arm
common.
back and it was it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
Brian's
hard,
dangerous,
man.
man. Don't be
And
you
that's
just
there's nobody like him. There's nobody
yeah,
doing it that way. So that's like, it's crazy, man. Like
yeah.
you got to think, yeah, like Yair's, he's so good on the ground too. He's probably like, damn, the fuck happened? I'm defending the elbows. Next thing you know, I'm knocked out cold. What's
Yeah,
going on?
yeah, no,
But
that's
yeah,
real.
Ortega's him, man. He's one of the best submission
Yeah,
artists I have
yeah.
ever seen in this sport, man. He's just something else, dude.
Yeah, that's real, bro. And the hard on him is pretty crazy. Like to overcome like the mental struggle of rolling that ankle before any sort of exchange ever happened. And then like getting caught in the first round, like you talked about,
Yeah,
and being on the verge of being finished, somehow finding it in him to just hang in there.
dog.
And it's real crazy, man. You don't want to be on the ground with T City. That guy will
Yeah,
find some sort of submission and he'll end your night.
yeah.
And Brian by submission must it always gotta be it always gotta be a slip, no?
Mm,
No?
yeah, yeah. I guess. I guess.
Speaking
I
of
liked. I did. I have to say before you move on, I did like uh how he didn't raise his hand. Just out of
did
respect.
you like was it but
I
I
liked
thought
that.
that was kinda weird, no?
I
Like, you
liked
won the
that.
fight.
I liked
You
that, but
earned that moment.
I know. I liked that part, but I didn't like how he's like, "Yeah, Dana, we'll chop it up. We'll chop it up about I want it." No, no. You got all these fans here. Call somebody out.
Nah,
What
dude,
are you
that's
doing?
no, that's a
That I
no.
didn't like. That I didn't like. I thought he should. I thought it was a perfect opportunity to sell your next fight. And he just
And,
didn't do it. He
if
just didn't do it.
who would you have wished he called out?
Anybody.
Like, give me a name. Make it
Anybody.
interesting. Who do you wanna see beat Brian Ortega fight next?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, he beat Yair, who's the interim champion.
Was he the interim
Well,
champ coming into this? Or at one point was?
is
Yeah,
he
at
still?
one point.
Yeah,
Nah, I don't think
he
there
won.
is a current
Maybe there's not. I'm not sure, but
I'm trying to just see the rankings now to like what makes sense for Brian Ortega. The only guys in front of him is a Max Holloway or Alex Volkanovski, and then the champion.
Volkanovski. That would have been a perfect opportunity to sell that fight again, man. They had an
It was.
incredible. They had an incredible fight with each other. That's how you sell it, man. You sell that fight again.
You
No,
want to
you
know
don't
what
want
I
to see
want?
it.
You want to know what I want?
You don't want to see Max Holloway versus Brian Ortega.
This is not even going to surprise you once you hear
What are you about
it.
to say?
UFC 300.
No, it's not gonna happen.
Calvin Kattar starches Aljamain Sterling. After that, he gets on the mic. T City, where the fuck you at?
Oh my god.
You won't lose your mind.
Why are you putting me on the spot like this?
Bro, I would lose my shit. You don't even have to respond. If that happens, I would absolutely lose my shit. I've talked about this before. LA versus Boston. There's no better sports rivalry ever. And to like make it into like a UFC main event, a fight night, whatever, a pay-per-view co-main, like it's so interesting. And there's a lot of implications, a lot of maybe title contender fight next after that. I don't know. But that's a banger of a scrap.
It's a great fight. I think it's a good fight.
All right. Well, there's my rant of the pod.
That was
Uh,
hardly a rant.
heading into the main event, Brandon Moreno, Brandon Royval. I'll give you the floor to tell me I told you so because you did. What did you think of your boy Brandon Royval's performance?
Ooh, phenomenal.
Yeah,
Absolutely phenomenal. I said it. I said it, man. I told everybody he was gonna shock the world Saturday. I told you. He absolutely he stole the show, man. That was a incredible performance. He stopped Brandon Moreno in every track. He dogged him. He outdogged him. He pushed the former champion back. He was like, "I'm better than you. My jab is better than you. I got more power. I'm gonna stand right in front of you and I'm gonna fuck you up." And that's what he did, man. The whole fucking night. The second round was incredible too. I love the submission hunting from him. He does everything, man. He does everything perfect. Um, besides those leg kicks. I thought he took far too many leg kicks from Moreno. That was just a little concerning for me. And Moreno, he kind of figured that out a little bit too late. That could have changed the trajectory of the fight by tenfold if he figured that out 2, 3 rounds ago. But he started kicking the legs in the fourth round. Didn't mean anything. Uh, he was on fresh legs. He was on fresh legs for 2 rounds. So it was perfect. Uh, yeah. Credible fight.
yeah,
Brandon Royval he's him, man. He's just him. He
yeah,
beat he beat your boy, and he beat him good. He
yeah.
beat him
He
in a
did
in a good fashion. In a good fashion.
respectfully in his hometown, which I thought was like the most gangster part of it all. Like to come into terri enemy territory like that. Somebody's like he grew up in Mexico City. Like
Yeah,
everybody Moreno's probably ever known was in that building.
yeah,
Like first grade, second grade, third grade friends like just showed up like, "Yo, bro, I'm at your fight." But anyways, yeah, you did tell me. You did tell me. I wish I listened to you and took that plus 240. But I did add this to a parlay that it would go the decision, it would go full five. So that was I guess a good pick on my end, right? I didn't lose all the way. But yeah, bro, I thought Moreno definitely landed the bigger shots, but Royval just put a pace on him that was like almost unbeatable. Like you
yeah,
got to really finish a guy. If somebody's putting out that many strikes, like there's nothing you could do if you're not like you got to just
yeah,
let him gas out and try to get a choke at that point. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Uh,
Moreno was a little concerning, man. I was like, man, he's not fighting back. Like, I was like, what's going on? We gonna get something going here? Like, this guy's pushing you back, and you have no answer for this. Like,
yeah.
absolutely no answer. Even when he was on the ground, he just didn't look that good. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But
I think that's
then
credit to
he
Royval though, because especially his
it
last
is.
one where he got held down a ton in like round 3, 4, and 5 against Pantoja, that had to be like, I gotta learn from
Yeah,
this moment. I can't ever get held down in a
yeah,
fight. And he addressed that in his post-fight interview that I want to talk about right after you finish your last point.
yeah. No, that's good though. Yeah, that's good you pointed that out because he definitely showed that in this fight. I have to push this guy back. This guy and Brandon Moreno, he's clearly not the same fighter going on the back foot. He just doesn't perform to the same echelon that he does when he's the aggressor. And I don't see him being a good fighter on the back foot. Now, when he was landing those leg kicks, because it just worked out so well, he would counter every single time. Brandon would throw a jab down the middle, so that back foot or that back leg kick worked every time. It worked every time, but it was just too late. That game plan just wasn't enough, man. And I feel like if he had beat that leg up a little bit earlier, we could have seen a much different fight. But I don't know what's going on. I guess he just couldn't get the reads early. Uh, credit to Royval too for putting that pace on. But off night for Moreno. For
Yeah.
most part, that was not a typical Brandon Moreno fight. That was we're used to seeing him in some dog fights, which granted this was uh, almost a dog fight to an extent, but he was just on the back foot the whole fight. Occasionally would blitz forward, do a little counter here and there, but unusual fight I would say for the most part. I love that call out at the end from Brandon Royval. Way to sell yourself, even though you lost to the guy before. You know, way to sell yourself, man. You beat the guy finally that you unfortunately suffered an injury from years ago. Way to put yourself into that conversation. I thought it was great.
I agree, Miro. My favorite part of it all was that post-fight interview and him getting on the mic and talking about, "I'm coming, Pantoja, where the fuck you at? Let's run it back. I'm going to people's houses and I'm taking everything." Like, I loved all of that shit. And he swore a ton, and it was just some like Nate Diaz-esque like promo, and I loved it. So
Here we
shout out
go.
Roy. Huh?
Here we go.
Was it not like a little 209, little
Ain't
Nate?
nobody's replicating idea. Stop that, man. Come on.
It's just that G shit, man. That's all it is.
It was some
That's all.
gangster shit, but it's like
Just gotta enjoy it, bro. Let me just do my thing as he did. You know what I'm saying? It was just fun to watch, and I made clips about it, and I posted on the TikTok, and people were
Nate,
like,
Nate Diaz would spark up line. He'd fucking take that mic, throw that Pantoja in the crowd. He'd do some crazy shit.
"Yeah, Nate Diaz
Nate
is
Diaz
awesome."
was another level of disrespectful. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, buddy. It was good. I like that
Respect,
one. It was all
respect.
right.
It was all right, mate. I would love a Brandon Royval Pantoja to maybe the headline UFC 301 up in down in Brazil.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna move on to the nenext segment of the podcast.
You're
We
not
got
down?
some.
You're not down? He don't get the title shot?
So, is Brandon Brazilian? I thought it was Brazilian only.
Pantoja's all Brazilian?
It's a little soon for that fight.
Pantoja's all
Val's a little beaten up.
Oh, he did say he tore his MCL or some shit. I think you're right.
He's a little
Yeah,
beaten up. From
that's a
the
good
fight.
point. That's a good
I
point.
don't think we're seeing him anytime
Yeah.
soon.
I know the UFC
But
must be scrambling on that one.
they're gonna do Brandon Moreno. Hey man, you want to fight? We know you lost, but it's a title fight.
It's real. Or this weekend, there's a few lightweights on the card. Let's just move it. You're right. Let's move to the next segment of the podcast. What's going on this weekend
Good
up in
Lord.
the UFC Apex?
What
Not
is going on this weekend?
Yeah, not the most fun card, right? Not something that you're gonna be like, oh, I gotta be at the house watching this. But there are some matchups and some guys here that's just must watch fights, must watch TV. And I already know who Josh is gonna say. Uh
Who?
your boy's fighting on this card.
Who's my boy?
Your boy Jarzinho.
Here we fucking go, man.
Nah,
Here we fucking go.
the most
All right,
exciting
this is what we're doing.
heavyweight.
This is what we're doing. This is the segment of the podcast where you just say absolute bullshit.
All right.
All right.
That was a bit sarcastic.
All
Josh,
right.
tell us, enlighten us. What is the fight this weekend that you're like, all right, let me just
The
make sure I
fight,
lock in right here for this one.
the fight this weekend. We already know. We already know what the fight was going to be this weekend, or next weekend. That wasn't this weekend, and that was going to be Paul. That was going to be our boy,
Oh my
our
god,
boy, Paul Raw.
Paul Raw.
Sick again. He's not showing up next week either. What's going on with him?
Yo, who's Paul Raw, dog?
You jacking off, bro?
Yo, who's Paul Raw, dog?
Paul Raw Rojas, man. Junior. Junior.
Yo,
Don't forget the junior.
Your butchers be so funny, bro. That
Don't-
you be trying to just slide it in there. Like I didn't just hear you fucking call somebody Ropo.
Can't forget the junior.
It's say after me, Raul.
Bro, I know how to say his name. Bro.
Nigga said Rapu.
This
That's
is
hilarious.
this is
I
the
might
goofy
make
part
that
of the
flip.
this is the goofy part of the podcast.
Yeah, that's a good.
But he was gonna be. I'm joking. He was gonna be the highlight of this week, but he's not showing up again, man. It's the second week in a row he's not showing up. They rescheduled this fight and they just canceled it again. Dude's sick. He's not gonna fight, so it's all good. But we have Matt Schnell on this fight. For
And
Steve
apparently
Persson.
last weekend he like got sick 30 seconds before his walkout. He was just like, actually, I gotta go take a shit. Like, somebody got a wheelchair. I'm on my Paul Pierce. You know what I'm saying? I gotta let this one go.
Buddy was whacking one off, and he was like, you know what? Not energy, guys. I gotta go. I gotta go.
All right, but you're making a serious point. What is
Dude,
the fight
dude,
that
fucking
you're looking to watch?
honestly, I'm looking forward to this match, Snell fight versus Steve
Hell
Erceg.
yeah. Okay.
I think this is gonna be a banger. Last time we seen Matt Schnell, man, was like a year and a half ago, and he put on a absolute clinic in that last round. Um, I can't even remember how long ago that fight was. That had to be like a year and a half ago, right? When he fought Sumu Darji.
Oh yeah, that was that
That
was
was an
July
insane. That was an
2017.
insane 2 rounds of that fight, and he was getting obliterated in that first round, and then he found that submission at the end and had Sumu Darji just leaking. But that was an incredible fight, and then he immediately lost after that. Disappeared for a year and a half. So he's back, but he's not fighting a slouch, man. Steve Erceg is a beast. He's super heavy hitting, just like Matt Schnell. Loves to submission hunt. Very good on the ground. So honestly, this is jujitsu versus jujitsu, man. I think it's gonna be exciting. With a little bit of action on the feet, we know these guys can scrap. So I I can't wait for this. But I'm
Yeah.
going Steve, man, because
Ooh, okay.
Schnell being out for a year and a half is kind of scary, man. At his age too, that's a little spooky, man.
Yeah, it's not the best, not the most ideal, but I'll tell you what, there's never a boring Mash Schnell fight.
Nah,
There's never been, and I don't think there ever will be. And Steve's another guy who brings it every time. And my buddy Chris DiCarlo just had him on his podcast. Shout out the Caged In Pod. That was a great episode. But yeah, man, that's an interesting pick. I'm gonna go against you. I think Matt Schnell is just always in fun ass fights, man, and he got that dog in him. So
man.
let's see if Steve can match and bring it on Saturday, because that's another gear that you got to get to match a Schnell.
True. But the buddy's been out a year and a half, man.
Yeah, yeah, it happens.
It's a long time, man.
It happens.
Steve's active. He's ready.
He's
He was disgusted because they were supposed to fight like back in December, and Matt Schnell was just like, I'm not ready to fight. He's like, well, fuck you, bud. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not waiting around for you, man.
See ya.
So it's funny how they end up fighting anyway, because he was like, dude, I'm not waiting for you.
Yeah,
But whatever. We're
Yeah,
here. So
we're here.
we
It's
got the fight. We got the fight.
no Puru Rojas Jr., but we do have another fascinating bantamweight on the card. Umar Nurmagomedov fighting Biztek Almakhan.
BizTech?
That's what I'm reading. You can go ahead. You deserve this one. I've ripping you recently. Go ahead. Soak this one, gang.
Whoa!
What you read?
BizTech?
Bexat?
Oh my god,
My
dude.
fault.
Where's there where's there an I in that? It's Bezak. Bezak. It's a Bez. That's crazy.
That's the
All
business.
right, we gotta stop. That was goofy. That was goofy.
We do this, man. We does this name shit. But Umar Nurmagomedov, what do you think? First round, first minute, first
This
exchange?
guy is I don't even this guy doesn't even have a profile picture.
He doesn't. And like, why? I don't know. Like, you want to make a statement and enter in the UFC, so you take Umar Nurmagomedov.
Yeah. This reminds me of that meme where a fighter gets announced their opponent, and it's any name that has Nurmagomedov at the end of it.
Run the other way. Anybody that got a beard,
You're cutting it.
mustache, yeah, I'm going that way.
I think for that reason, I mean, this just caught me completely off guard. I didn't even know Umar had a fight on this card.
Yeah. You're not the only one. You're like the second or third person I talked to today that I caught by surprise by telling them that Umar
That's
was
what
fighting this weekend.
Yeah, because I was like, he was supposed to fight Corey, and then that fight never happened. I remember that fight was supposed to happen last year. So I was like, he goes from Corey to the guy with no profile picture?
I think that's a case of nobody wanting to take a fight with him, low key.
He's low key just a dangerous opponent.
Yeah, like who in the top 10 is like, bring it on?
He's a low risk. He's a low risk, low reward fighter. There's,
Or vice versa.
I
He's
mean, a high
reward,
risk, low
low
reward fighter.
yeah,
There's
for
no
sure.
need to fight this guy, but he's fucking dangerous, bro.
Yeah, all
It's
around,
like you gain
all around.
nothing. You gain nothing if you beat him because
Which
you're just not that high on the rankings.
which can we just take a moment and just talk about how much of a gangster Corey Sandhagen is for saying
For taking this fight, bro.
you think this is the guy? You think this is the skip?
Yeah, Corey's him. He's one of my
Him,
favorites. He's one of my
him,
favorites ever.
him. But
I love him.
yeah, I mean I'm taking Umar. I don't even want to look at the line because I don't even
Oh
imagine
my
him being
god. That
uh
shit's scary, I imagine,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
This is
But I
this guy's
mean,
first fight in the UFC, man. Like, what do you expect? Like, I don't know, man. It could go well for him, man. It's another Russian, it looks like, so.
let's get it. Let's get it. It'll be a banger. It'll be a fun fight. But enough on that.
Biscuit, bro. You said biscuit. That is just comedy. I'm sorry. That was too funny.
It's all good.
But anyway,
This fight here.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I just want to talk about a few more matchups. I think we were talking about the next challenger for Pantoja's flyweight strap, and I'm not saying Alex Perez and Muhammad Makayev is a number one contenders fight, but if one of these guys dramatically finish the other, they could make a case. It could, especially if it's Muhammad Makayev, who's been real vocal about him wanting to break John Jones's record of being the youngest world champion in the history of the UFC. Like the UFC, of course, is going to want to promote that. So if he goes out and he slumps Alex or catches him early, submits him, like Muhammad Makayev could be fighting very soon again, and then for a title before the end of the year. So like that's why I got all four of my eyes all over this Alex Perez and Muhammad Makayev fight.
Yeah, this is a scary one, man. This is really scary. Alex Perez hasn't won a fight in like 4 years. But granted, he's had like 30 canceled fights.
Dude.
But he hasn't won a fight in 4 years. He fought one time in 4 years, and he lost in like a minute and some change.
Yeah, against
to
the world champion.
To the current champion.
Yeah.
Muhammad Makayev, who's extremely active, hasn't had the best opponents, hasn't fought the cream of the crop yet. I can't bet against him. I can't bet against him in this. And Alex Perez, he's been around for a while. He's fought the best fighters so far. Yeah, he's lost to them, and he's won a couple. But 4 years, man.
Yeah, it's not the best look, but like
it's not. It does not look good.
You look at the guys that he's unfortunately had cancellations with. They're some of the best fighters on planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm talking Manel Kape, Amir Abazi, Kai Kara France. Like a lot of these top 10 guys were once scheduled to fight Alex Perez, and it just never happened.
Fought him, bro.
Just never happened. So it's
but one fight. But you gotta look at what is the actual facts here. He's one fight in 4 years, and he didn't even win.
That's a fact. Unfortunately, that's a fact that we are we do got to talk about.
1 minute and 30 seconds in the octagon across 4 years is that is pretty fucking bad, Ferris.
Yeah. So
that's pretty bad. I'm going Makayev, man. I'm going with the more active fighter. And that's just what it comes down to. I can't ignore the activity for Muhammad. He's an incredible fighter as well, just aside from the activity. But Alex Perez he's just not active enough for me.
Yeah. Fair. And it might not be his fault, which is the saddest part of all this.
It has not. A couple of it has been because some guys have pulled out. Like, I know the Matt Schnell one. That was just ridiculous. Like, Matt Schnell pulled out, I think, twice out of that one. And then something happened to Alex in the third one. And then I don't know what happened to the Manel Kape one. We all know what happened to the Kai Kara France one. And then here we are now, 4 years later.
Here we are.
4 years fucking later. Who would have thought, man? Well,
Crazy.
I mean, you got to feel for the guy too, right? It's like he wants
That's
to
what I'm
fight.
saying. That's no
But
way
it's,
he, like,
yeah,
entered
there's no,
his
yeah.
UFC career, like, at some point, I'm trying to take, like, 4 years off. There's no way. There's no
it
way.
look it looks crazy. It does look crazy, but the inactivity is it's unfortunate.
It's a
You
fact,
can't not ignore it. You know what I mean?
especially against the young cat who's been active and running through people, like, it's a tough matchup and a gangster move, so this is, like, one if he's able to come out on top, it's like, "God damn, you're legit, dog."
Oh yeah.
But let's talk about, the co-main and the main event real quick. I don't really wanna talk about it too much, close to the end of the show, one of your boy Izzy's teammates, Tyson Pedro's, co-headlining the card against, Vitor Penorino Petrino. I know he's a Dana White Contender Series guy, a fun fighter. They got him at a -305 favor, which I think is kinda crazy. What do you think about, that and make
Tyson?
no, Tyson yeah, Tyson's the dog.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
I
think
think
some
they
real
think these.
money.
Yeah, I mean, Vitor's. I mean, I haven't seen much of this guy. I watched one fight from this guy, which was the Anson fight. That was the only time I ever seen him because that was on the Yan card. Uh, Great fighter. He took that guy to submission, but Tyson knocked that guy out. Tyson's a beast, man. I think people are looking at this record in Vegas just trying to get people to sway the opposite way. I'm not going that way. I actually have money on Tyson. I believe in his power. He has incredible power. Um, I think we're gonna see another knockout here. And he's riding a few knockouts. I don't know if they're in a row, but he is riding a few knockouts from last year. And I think he's gonna get another one on Saturday. I like this matchup. I love the odds. Bring it up. Bring it.
Now 2 weeks ago, I
He knocked the guy out. He
so
that took him to decision. So that alone is like,
yeah, yeah, 2
it's
weeks
enough for
ago
me.
2 weeks ago, I came on the show and I was like, "This Roman Krylov guy is an absolute lock. He's plus money. We have to hammer it." And we did, and we both lost. Is this your version of that? Is this like a legit
Tyson's
type?
winning. Tyson's
Alright,
winning.
we're hammering it. I'm
We're
doing it.
hammering it.
I'm hammering it too, brother. I'm in it.
We're
Alright,
going.
pair of Tyson picks here. Let's move on to the main event of the evening. Jairzinho Rozenstruik, the 12th ranked heavyweight, is taking on the unranked Shamil Gaziev. Josh is silent about this one. I'm gonna go with Shamil. I think the unranked guy is gonna try to come in and make a splash, and he's fighting the guy with the name, the guy who's fought on the who's. Maybe it didn't go his way, but you got to respect the fact that he's fought on all the best heavyweights of this past generation, and yeah, it'll be a big win for Shamil and a way to get himself ranked, which I know he wants to do. Josh, anything to add on this matchup? Any pick?
I'm going anybody that's fighting Yair. I'm going against Yair every
Yeah,
time. This guy has the most boring fights I've ever seen in the UFC.
yeah.
He's just not an exciting fighter for me, man. He's big, man. He's just so slow. Yeah,
Don't rip it, man.
I
It's just
can't fucking. I just can't stand the guy, man. He's just
yeah.
so boring. He's so boring. The only reason he's in the UFC is because he has power. That's it.
Which you
He's
could
not
say the same
exciting.
about almost every heavyweight, low key.
Not really, because he's not consistently knocking people out like every other heavyweight is.
He was at one point,
At one point, and now he's boring.
and we started finding
He
his
fucking
strength.
he's boring.
Yeah. Well,
He's
I
just
mean,
not
there's
fun to
something
watch.
yeah, there's something to say about, like, the UFC vets fighting, like, these guys who are, like, on their 2nd or 3rd UFC fight already headlining, that the
Yeah, I
money
can't.
is you always gotta go against the UFC. You always gotta go for the UFC vet, but
It
it's J
just
it's Jairzinho. Is that the guy?
it just makes me think like, what are these like? Why did they go with this as the main like?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would have much rather
There's
than
been
Muhammad Mokaev. That would have been a way funner main event low key, which is kinda crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. Makayev headlining. I don't know. I might not get a lot of clicks.
So you'd rather Jairzinho, there we go. So I brought.
I would rather Jardim. I think as far as like a headline, obviously it makes more sense. Jardim has fought more of the top contenders,
Yeah.
but oh man, this guy's just so fucking boring to watch, man. All right, that's it. I'm not gonna say anymore.
Yeah,
I'm
that's it.
going Shamil. So pair of
Shamil.
Shamil picks.
There we go. I love it. All right, brother. Thank you for the time tonight, listeners. If you made it to this point of the podcast, we greatly appreciate the support. Follow us on all the socials at the HP pod _ on IG.
Mhm.
Subscribe if you're listening to us on YouTube. Rate 5 stars on Spotify, Apple. Shirt's coming very, very soon. The website is built. I'll share the URL in the matter of days. And we'll catch up with you guys post this card. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, sir. Peace.